Breaking news today. Meghan Markle has just lost her 10th publicist in 5 years. Her 10th publicist in 5 years. Now, Emily Robinson was appointed Director of Communications for Harry and Meghan. Surely the job from hell. So she got the position in June of this year. She left a top job at Netflix, where she was promoting the TV show The Crown, which is, of course, a massive TV show, a big global hit. Now, deciding to leave Netflix and work for the Sussexes looks to have been a colossal career mistake, because she has lasted just 4 months. Now, bear in mind that this individual, Emily Robinson, is a very, very experienced public relations executive. She's worked for some big companies like Netflix. She's thick-skinned, right? She knows her way around the block. She's a toughie. But 4 months is all she could manage with Harry and Meghan. And who could blame her? Let's be honest. Who would want to be a press and publicity officer for H&M? My husband, working for Vladimir Putin or Kim Jong-un of North Korea would be a walk in the park compared to trying to make those two look good. Now, it's my understanding that Emily was having a miserable time working for the couple. I'm hearing that they made horrible demands and that representing the couple in the best possible light was becoming an impossible task. Of course it was, because you cannot polish a smelly brown thing that comes from nature. That's the bottom line. Harry and Meghan, it is impossible to cast them in the best possible light. Now, this issue of staff turnover is not new. Harry and Meghan have had a persistent staff retention problem since their marriage in 2018, with over 25 employees having quit. That's right. Conservative estimates suggest that Harry and Meghan have been through 25 members of staff in the last few years. Now, the pattern began during their tenure at Kensington Palace and continued post-Megxit in California, where Archwell Productions and the Archwell Foundation, for example, had seen several senior departures, including Chief of Staff John Kettler, who furiously quit in August 2024. After how long? How long did John Kettler last? This is another toughie. This guy's been around the block a few times. He knows his onions. How long did he last? A big, powerful, strong man with a keen intellect and a great CV. 3 months is how long he lasted. The wave of exits inspired royal historian Robert Lacey to coin the term the Sussex Survivors Club. That's right, anyone that's worked for Harry and Meghan is now known as a member of the Sussex Survivors Club, which tells you everything you need to know. It refers to former aides who say they endured a febrile atmosphere of fear, emotional strain and exhaustion. Several ex-employees of the couple have described their experience as traumatic, alleging that both Harry and Meghan could be volatile, demanding and unpredictable behind the scenes. It's not surprising. They're both crazy. I mean, Meghan is a wild narcissist and a bully and a vile, controlling, dishonest human being. Do you know what? I've really got to get off the fence with Meghan, haven't I? I've got to get off that fence. And then Harry, well, Harry's just the world's least happy millionaire with major mental health issues. So, volatile, demanding, unpredictable behind the scenes. The earliest tensions emerged at Kensington Palace. Jason Knauf, the couple's communications secretary, filed a formal bullying complaint in 2018, alleging that Meghan drove 2 personal assistants out of the household and left another shaken. And don't forget, Meghan Markle had to be admonished by Queen Elizabeth II, no less, for her alleged treatment of, wait for it, an undergardener, someone on the minimum wage who's on their knees in the freezing mud and cold of, the Frogmore Cottage estate, digging out weeds and all the rest of it, and Meghan attacks them. And the story goes that Queen Elizabeth had to straighten her out. Queen Elizabeth had to go over to Frogmore Cottage and deal with Meghan Markle in no uncertain terms to give her a dressing down, to take her down to Chinatown. So that was a big thing. Jason Knauf filed a formal bullying complaint against Meghan, and so 2 personal assistants allegedly were basically driven out of the royal household, and another left shaken. That's right, shaken. Former assistant Melissa Tubati resigned 6 months after the royal wedding. That's right, 6 months after the royal wedding. That should have been a honeymoon period for her, but it was a living hell. Yes, apparently she was also reportedly traumatized after Meghan allegedly went mental over mismatched red blankets prepared for a Sandringham event. You heard me right. Meghan goes crazy, allegedly, over mismatched red blankets prepared for a Sandringham event, and it tells you everything you need to know about Meghan Markle, everything you need to know about Meghan Markle. She's a control freak, and if everything isn't just so, she loses it. She goes postal. Do you know about the history of the term goes postal? It's an American term. Unfortunately, working for the US Post Office is quite a stressful job, and there was a history of very hardworking postal staff being so exhausted and so emotionally drained after a long shift that they commit a homicide and just go around and, you know, a kind of a mass incident. And it's called going postal, and it's when the postman goes a little crazy. Anyhow, Meghan goes postal all the time. That's her nature. Shortly after the birth of Archie in 2019, Private Secretary Amy Pickerill also stepped down. Multiple former staff members later told reporters that Meghan could switch in an instant from charm to hostility. Now, that's what bullying narcissists do. They want you on edge, and they will be, on some occasions, Father Christmas, and on other occasions, they will be the devil incarnate. And you don't know which you're going to get, and that's where they get their power. They want you on edge. So there you go. Meghan could switch in an instant from charm to hostility. Inspirational 1 minute and devastatingly cutting the next. It is so familiar. Also, another insider described Meghan Markle as a dictator in high heels, claiming to have watched her reduce grown men to tears. Grown men like me, big, strong, masculine men like me, tough guys, rugged, masculine, reduced to tears. By the way, a lot of this intel comes from an incredibly powerful piece in Vanity Fair, which is a magazine that Meghan loves and always wanted to be in. And once she finally made it into Vanity Fair, she was horrified because all they did is write a very truthful article about her, which demonstrates what a truly obnoxious human being she is. So I got lots more on this. The royal editor of the Mail Online, Rebecca English, recounted seeing aides and assistants sobbing on the phone after, and I quote, harrowing days, whilst others said they felt pressured to bend ethical rules in media dealings. Now, this is very interesting, right? Former palace aides have basically talked about the fact that Meghan was economical with the truth when it came to the messaging from the Sussexes, right? According to insiders quoted by the Times newspaper and the Mail on Sunday, assistants and aides, right, were sometimes urged to push back against negative stories about Harry and Meghan by selectively briefing journalists or drafting statements that had not been cleared through official palace channels, breaking protocol that royal offices speak with a single unified voice. Now, the reason why Meghan wanted to go a little left field is because her messaging was very different from that of the rest of the royal family. She had her own agenda, as was proven by the fact that, of course, she left the royal family with Harry after. By the way, that guy needs to get... He needs a tune-up. Did you hear those brakes? Yikes! Right. Others claimed, other people working in the press and publicity department for the Sussexes claimed that they were encouraged to contact sympathetic media figures directly in America and Canada to promote a more favourable image of the Duchess, actions seen as crossing the line between public service and personal PR. I should say so. I should see very well. There's a board on a river. Now, one aide described it as being asked to spin, not to inform. Harry and Meghan wanted the PR people, the public relations people, to spin, not inform. Well, they've been doing that ever since. While another said that they feared losing their job if they refused to sign off statements without senior approval. According to Jason Knauf's internal complaint, several staffers felt drawn into ethically uncomfortable territory. Well, that describes Harry and Meghan perfectly, doesn't it? They are he's going too fast. Welcome to Broken Britain, by the way. Ethically uncomfortable. That is Harry and Meghan. That's exactly what they are, is ethically uncomfortable. Struggling to reconcile palace standards of neutrality with the Duchess's desire for personal image control. So you've got the royal PR machine, which is pretty much there to disseminate information and to offer a balanced view of what the royal family are up to. Then you've got Meghan Markle, who offers a confected fake news version of the truth. And the bottom line is, I've got no doubt that this woman that's left now, this PR guru that has left the couple, has done so because she's tired of peddling Harry and Meghan's BS. And she's sick of polishing a piece of brown stuff that's very lavatorial, right? Because you can't do that. You can't polish a brown thing that comes from nature. You can't do it. Have you heard that expression? It's a very London expression that you can't polish a... Anyway, you might be eating. Let's not dwell on it. Maybe she got tired of lying for the couple. Don't forget, Meghan lied about the date of their wedding. She lied about the fact that no one asked me how I'm feeling ever. She lied about her childhood, contradicted by her father, Thomas Markle. And they, Harry and Meghan, lied about the so-called near-catastrophic car crash in New York that never happened. Several former employees have spoken of pre-dawn emails from the Duchess, right? This is another reason why no one stays with the couple. Sometimes emails would come for staff members at 5 in the morning. Can you think of anything worse? You know you're going to get up at like 7 a.m., but you wake up at 5 a.m. for a little bathroom break, and then you're going to go back to bed and you're going to sleep a little more. Can you think of anything worse when you take your bathroom break at 5 a.m., expecting 2 hours more of sleep, like a little top-up, only for your phone to be buzzing? Hi, it's Meghan here. My husband! I have a query through email. I have questions. So several former employees have spoken of pre-dawn emails, sometimes arriving at 5 a.m., outlining demands, edits, or questions about incredibly minor details from the Duchess. Their tone reportedly created constant anxiety. One aide said that everyone lived in fear of the next message. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Meghan develops a reputation for noisy tantrums, as well as the angry 5 a.m. emails, a pattern said to have persisted into the Archwell years. Former staff members claim that she expected instant perfection and had little patience for pushback. Is it any wonder that Harry is so miserable? He's married to that. At least the workers, the employees, get to go home after their 8 or 9 hours on duty. They get to go home. There's no escape for Harry. A 2025 Page 6 report quoted an insider who described Meghan as cold and withholding when disappointed, adding, "I saw people chewed up in person and over the phone and made to feel like SHIT. Yikes! One ex-employee told Vanity Fair that working for Meghan could feel like walking on eggshells, with team members needing extended breaks or therapy to recover from the stress. Another said the Archwell office became a pressure cooker where everything revolved around Meghan's moods. Meanwhile, Harry's African charity Sentebale became embroiled in a controversy in 2025 when the chair, the heroic Dr. Sophie Chandalkar, accused Harry of harassment and bullying on an Olympic scale, prompting a Charity Commission investigation into governance practices. What's happened there? Harry has been thrown out of his own charity. He's walked away from Sentebale, which is a hot mess, right? It is a public relations hot mess. It's a dumpster fire, and it's really embarrassing. The Sussexes have vehemently denied the allegations. Of course they have. They would, wouldn't they? And their representatives dismissed the claims as a calculated smear campaign built on misleading and harmful information. A spokesperson for the Duchess said that Meghan was saddened by attacks on her character. It's so sad that people are so unkind about me, even though I'm so lovely to everybody else. Didn't you know I'm not Meghan Markle anymore? I'm Meghan Sussex! That's right, she was saddened by attacks on her character and insisted that many of the reports were fabricated, outdated, or twisted for sensationalism. May God forbid. Despite the denials, turnover continued well into this year, with 4 more staffers departing amid a leadership reshuffle and new advisory hires. And now their chief publicist has walked. It is going so horribly wrong. She's gone and she ain't coming back. And the bottom line is that they fire these people, or they make life uncomfortable for them, or they leave. And all Harry and Meghan are doing is really killing the messenger, because I'm sure that this public relations person was getting a lot of abuse from Harry and Meghan because there are so many negative headlines. That is not the publicist's fault. You reap what you sow. That is the behavior of Harry and Meghan. You can't make them look good, because you cannot polish something that goes into a toilet from nature. You can't do it. It won't work. So it's quite interesting. They've been talking about Harry and Meghan made a statement about the departure of Ms. Robinson. They told the Telegraph, a spokesperson for the Sussexes, one of the few remaining that hasn't left, told the Telegraph, Miss Robinson oversaw project-based work for a very successful season of With Love, Meghan, and additional support for the production company. She did an excellent job and completed these projects with great success. Of course she did. Well, why hasn't she stayed? Because she was miserable and couldn't stand it anymore. Couldn't bear the fact that Meghan doesn't call Harry by his full name, just calls him H. I call him H, my husband. Of her departure, right, let me give you the real truth. This public relations person, of her departure, a friend told the Daily Mail newspaper, actually, it was her decision, right? It was the PR executive's decision. She left a few weeks ago. She's not a quitter, so things must have been pretty horrible for her to go. I rest my case, my lad. Folks, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. And the reason why you need to be subscribed, if you don't mind, is that you'll be alerted to any future surprise emergency videos like this one. Can't wait to see you for the next one. When's it coming? Who knows? But for sure, Sunday, as always, at 6 p.m, if not before. Stay awesome. Big love. Bye for now.